More on this GE810. I'm trying to resolve some high voltage issues. There's a resistor right here. Here. Let me get this out of the way for now. This resistor is the plate load resistor for a horizontal oscillator. It connects up to this terminal right here, right there, which also connects up to this brown lead here, which is part of this voltage supply for the G2 of the CRT. That's this red lead here, and it goes on to the G2. Anyway, I was having some issues with brightness and high voltage, and I checked the riders, and there's all kinds of confusion and production changes on the flyback. One of the things it did mention, though, was the fact that this G2 was supposed to be off the boost, which is like 450 volts. This connection here, this resistor in this wire, was connected to the B plus by a little small piece of wire that was connected between these two terminals right here. This is B plus, supplies the screen. This is a screen resistor for the horizontal output terminal, B plus. Next lead over, there's a short wire connecting B plus to this 82K plate load resistor for the horizontal oscillator. Well, that doesn't make any sense when I looked at the riders, and granted there's lots of weirdness going on there, production changes, but you can't really see it. But right down here where my probe is touching, you can't really see, it's not coming out. I can see the remnants of a red wire that was cut, and I believe this wire used to go to the flyback to the boost supply, which is up, well, and again, this isn't even the correct flyback, but it would have been right up here. It was on the primary side of the flyback. There's a primary side. This is the side that goes to horizontal out up here, and then there's another side from there that goes on to the flyback. Anyway, this made me think maybe there's some kind of issue with this. So what I did was, as a test, and when I was running it before, I was getting just about 8 kV and a fairly dark screen. I decided to just play around a little bit. What I did was I cut this lead. So I disconnected the B plus from this horizontal oscillator plate load resistor, cutting that little piece of wire right here. Did that, and that allowed me then to take this jumper lead, which is connected to the boost side of the. This comes off the linearity coil. That's a boost filter cap. Took from that right there, which has an inductive kick and increases the voltage up to about 450 over the regular B+. If I connect that to right here, which is now supplying the horizontal oscillator. Let me reconnect this up. I had to disconnect it. There. So what I'm doing now is I'm connecting the original boost supply, which the way the riders had, boost supply through the 82K to the plate load through this transform for the horizontal oscillator, and through that brown wire through this 100K ohm resistor back to the CRT. That one modification allowed the voltage on the high voltage to go from 8,000 volts up to about 9,500, just short of 10,000 or 10 kV. The grid voltage on this, the rectified grid voltage in the horizontal oscillator, went from about -10 to about -13. So obviously this horizontal oscillator is kicking out a larger grid drive to that horizontal out. And the screen brightness, of course, went up because I'm using the boost voltage like it was originally designed for. I have a feeling that there was a flyback change of this. I don't know if it's done at the factory. I doubt it based on looking at some of the work that was done. I think what happened was there was a flyback change, and some of the changes were put in place, but not all of them. Like, for instance, I think the same effect might have happened if I had just put a 47K here and left this, well, I would have put the 47K here. It probably would have given me the boost I needed to get the higher drive out of the horizontal oscillator, and I would think that a production change would have had you move this CRT G2 to a boost Maybe not. Maybe they figured it didn't matter. I mean, there was between the 450 boost and the 370 boost. The screen was definitely too dark though. But this little change here, boost voltage to the horizontal oscillator, boost voltage to the CRT, instead of B plus to the horizontal oscillator and B plus to the CRT, went from a set that was marginal on brightness to one that's much better. Still not great, but it's a heck of a lot better. I'll demonstrate the picture in just a minute, but I just want to document what was going on here. Other weird, stupid things, and again, I think there were probably some production changes. Like for instance, this is a boost cap that goes on one side of the linearity coil. It went to ground instead of B plus. Typically, they go to B plus. That's, I think, just to allow you to use a lower voltage cap there, so it's not, you know, the differences between boost and ground is like quite a bit higher than between boost and B plus. But maybe that was something that they did in the production, because I did see later runs where they were connecting these boost filter caps to the ground. So maybe that's something that's acceptable. I don't know. Let's see. It's got a bunch of caps in here. Let me get this damper out of the way. Excuse me while I pull this out. I have to drop this thing. I don't have very many of these 5V4s laying around. Okay, here's some goofiness. This is two mica caps in series, connected in series on this backside. This is basically going across the yoke leads, and then this other cap, this disc cap, was connected as well. So they put all these caps in order to increase the width. I have a feeling, and I have plenty of width with this mod, so I have a feeling I'll be able to disconnect all those capacitors and still have plenty of width and high voltage. Putting those caps in there increases width, generally at the expense of high voltage, so that's always something to think about. But anyway, this is the way I found it. This was added just like this. Originally there was a paper cap here, a plastic cap, clearly a later era because it was plastic instead of a wax paper. I hate this kind of stuff, but I didn't feel comfortable re-engineering. I was just trying to change it up. Here's a look at the actual transformer so we know exactly what we're talking about. Look familiar, Bob? I don't know what's the deal with the black, with the red black. So anyway, let me get some actual runtime pictures of it, and I'll post that next. But I just want to document what was going on here first. I'm really curious for you guys who have these 810s, what value resistor you have here, this plate load resistor, and whether or not it gets B plus here on this side of it or boost. That would be interesting to know. More to come later.